Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie for those who don't know me. I hope you guys can hear me because there's some madness going on in the hallway. But we are reviewing the Ultimatum Season 3, the finale, and only the finale. If you've watched the reunion, love that for you, but do not come and spoil in my comment section or I will unfortunately have to block you. Thank you very much. So before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. Unfortunately, because I'm not at home, even though, you know, my friend's apartment is cute, I couldn't write notes, so I'm just going off of memory. And I also will be editing on my phone. So if the editing looks kind of crazy, listen, I'm doing the best I can with what I got, okay? So the episode picks up, with Sandy and JR having their conversation. They decide to stay friends.
I got what I was looking for and then some.
I love how you see the good in people, and I think you saw the good in me.
I think we've obviously developed a really close connection. Could always be friends or be in each other's lives at some point.
I know that you're in love with Nick. Like, I know that's not going to change. I know that.
I'll be rooting for you.
It means a lot.
The decision to stay friends seems to be more of Sandy's decision than it is JR's decision. He kind of looks sad to me. And that's part of the reason why I'm like, what happened between these two? Like, I don't believe that they didn't get physical. Maybe they didn't go, you know, the whole home run. But I'm just like, what was happening under them covers? Y'all just cuddled? I still believe that throughout the process, they ended up building a deeper connection than what we thought would happen, but mainly driven by lust. That's what their relationship seemed to be, just mainly driven by lust. It's so loud. Oh, perfect. It stopped. See, you just gotta complain sometimes, and then, you know, the things you want to happen. Anyways, you know, give an ultimatum, complain, and maybe you'll get proposed to. Maybe. So, with JR, I know some people are upset with the fact that I was empathizing with him. Listen. Okay? I did say at the end of the day, he still needs to like change his behavior. Similar to Nick, you can't just say, oh, these are the things that I struggle with, and then just have no plan of action to work on them, you know? Especially for somebody who's been married before. You know what it takes to be in a marriage. You know that it's not easy. You know that it takes a lot of like self-sacrifice and stuff like that. So do the thing if you want the thing. And I think at the end of the day, it's just that JR doesn't want the thing. Some people likened JR's persona to those of like the Manosphere guys online. I can see the correlation, but here's the thing for me. If you say something is one thing and it is not the way that you described it, it's hard for me then to see it as that. So for instance, I saw people online, people in my comments being like, oh my gosh, JR is so evil. He's the worst. Can't stand him. Get him off the show, whatever. So I was expecting to come in with this like vitriol for him, and I don't have that. So I was just like, I don't know. I'm not as mad at him as I thought I would be. I would rather be in a room with JR than I would Nick. I'd rather be in a room with JR than I would Scotty. I know that's for sure. But yeah, JR has a lot of growing up to do. He's aware of that. And so when he and Zaina meet up to have their conversation, he acknowledges that Zaina is like top tier woman, but he unfortunately can't give her what she deserves.
I just feel like we've made a lot of progress, which is cool.
You have a pure heart, and you have so much love and good energy. Seeing you today, I see you different from how we came in here.
After almost 3 years.
It took this 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
I apologize for casting doubt on you. I don't think I'm at that point to give you what you deserve. I'm not waiting to be perfect, but I at least want to be at a level where I feel comfortable.
You're waiting to be that person, and I've always wanted to grow with you.
I love that Zaina, throughout this entire process, has been able to just hold her head high no matter what is thrown at her. If it is crazy eyes Scotty, if it is aloof JR, like she's just, you know what, it is what it is. I'm gonna keep my poise, I'm gonna keep it pushing. Now, I saw some people say that she's been on a few shows before, So I'm like, oh, are you just a seasoned professional at this point? Like, is that what it is? But either way, she handled herself very well. Obviously, this isn't the response that she wanted. She would like to be engaged to JR, but she understands that JR does have a lot of growing up to do, and she does deserve somebody who appreciates her for everything that she offers and is able to provide her with what she needs. So she says that JR has this idealistic view of marriage, whereas she's the type of person who believes in growth, like growing together in a relationship. I think that both perspectives have their pros and cons. So I would like to go into marriage with somebody who at least can see being able to fulfill the vision that they have and the vision that I have together. If they can't see us fulfilling that vision, why are we going into it? I also want to be with somebody who is able to be malleable and grow and develop together as a couple, but I don't want it to turn into I have to raise somebody else's son. Especially when I'm trying to bring my own children into this world. Like, what do I look like raising somebody else's kid? No, absolutely not. So I do think that there is pros and cons with both perspectives. But at the end of the day, if JR feels like he can't give you what he deserves, or he has some work to do before getting married, it's better you leave him where he's at. Not sure if I'm going in chronological order. I'm just going off of memory here. I think Mariah and Caleb are next. So Caleb had written some things down. Basically, he had said that he wants to receive the love that Mariah gives, because it is a love that he just cannot fathom, but also a love that he cannot live without.
I want to thank you for even being here. I know you came grudgingly, but I hope that it was worth it. I would love to spend the rest of forever with you.
Would you?
Of course.
You've helped me celebrate my wins, and more importantly, reassure me through my hard times. Some days you love me more than I love myself. As I look at you today, I am no longer afraid. I see the woman you are. If you allow me, I'll show up for you in the same way. So, if you are ready, can we begin forever?
Yes. Yes.
I still believe.
Yeah. We're engaged. It's finally happened, and I'm so happy.
Out of the couples given, I'm not mad that these two are engaged. Now, I still have some questions with Caleb, but I have questions in general about this couple. I think the reason why it was hard for me to see like where the tension was between them was because I feel like they both posture in front of cameras. The realest conversations we saw were the CCTV cameras, whether Caleb was in his trial marriage with Aria or with Mariah. I think that he's very aware that he's on television and that this will be shown not only to the public, but to his partner. So he has to present himself in the best way possible, or in a way that he can explain later. It seems like Caleb is a great guy. I don't really see too many issues I don't see an issue with him. Besides the fact that I still believe he was downplaying his feelings for Aria. I don't think he fell in love with the girl, but I do think that it was more than a friendship. And with Mariah, the only real issue that I had with her was these insecurities that made it seem like she was projecting something that Caleb would never be able to fulfill, because it's a void that she's feeling, and it seems like marriage to her will be the remedy for what's lacking in her life, when really there's some unpacking that she needs to do on her ones by herself. Caleb too, he felt like he wasn't at the place where he could be an adequate husband, therefore making him an inadequate father. Like, they have individual things to work out, but as a couple, yeah, I mean, I wish them the best. I hope that it does work out. With Mariah, I hope that both of them just become more content with themselves, and they don't try to force it either. Like, you can realize that somebody is an amazing person and you would want nothing more than to be with them, and also realize that the state in life that you're at, or just certain logistics that make it difficult, might be enough to not pursue something long term. Person might be great, just might not be great for you. Then we see Sandy and Nick having their conversation, and Sandy is aware that marriage is beautiful, their relationship is beautiful, but she's at a point right now where she thinks that as a couple, they have more things to work on. Nick's response to that is basically, are you sure you want to risk losing me? And basically she's like, yeah, well, yeah.
What are you doing? I don't know, babe. It's hard.
I deserve to have somebody that's 100%. Don't you want to be 100% about somebody?
I love you so much.
I do too. Unfortunately, it doesn't sound like it's enough.
Please don't. I really gave this my all, and I really.
Don't what? What am I doing? I don't feel your words and your choice match up anymore.
It's really hard.
I'm not
Everything I've
surprised.
said to you is my truth,
Well,
including
yeah.
all the good things.
Right. Somebody deserves this. At this point, I don't think it's you.
I'm glad that Sandy called it. I don't think she wanted to call the relationship, but with Nick, he was like, if you don't know at this point, then there's no point for us to continue to explore. I agree. What would be the point of dating after this if you've come to a point where it's either we get married or we go our separate ways? Coming back to date is counterproductive, I feel. So I do think it was a good call for him to be like, well, then I guess we're done. As far as them individually, I think that Sandy is more ready than she thinks she is. It's just that she's with somebody who needs so much work that it feels like, okay, well, am I ready to get married? I think she is. I think she's just not ready to get married with somebody who takes so much out of her. Nick is so draining. So draining. So Nick now is walking away from this saying, you know, he's going to find somebody who's going to like all of his quirks as is, who's going to take him as he stands today. And I'm thinking, aren't you the same guy who had the revelation that you can't just go into a relationship without doing your own work? Through this process, I'm sure he realized, oh, I have a lot of baggage. I have a lot of skeletons in the closet that I need to figure out before jumping into a marriage. But now it's, oh no, somebody's gonna love me for me. And I hope that they do. I hope that somebody does love him for him, but I hope that he takes stock in his own pitfalls and the things that he brings into a relationship that make it hard to love him sometimes. How are you gonna come into a relationship, get mad comfortable, not show up emotionally, be aware that you're doing that, and only when the person threatens to leave you do you want to then show up better? That's not fair. It's not fair to you because you should show up authentically all the time in your relationship, and it's not fair to your partner because why should they go through this emotional turmoil just because you don't want to do better, knowing that you can do better? I don't think that's fair. And as much as I do think that Sandy probably has more to do in their relationship than what we got to see on the show, because Nick was the focal point, we're just going to focus on Nick. I think that Nick, number one, needs to be with somebody who's closer in his age, just because being 10 years younger than Nick and dealing with Nick, I feel like would rob you of your youth a bit. I feel like it would. Me and my friend yesterday were watching the episodes that she hasn't watched yet, and she was like, when Sandy is with JR, she actually feels and looks her age. Whereas when she's with Nick, she looks a lot older. She looks like she's approaching 40 and like she's literally in her late 20s. Like how is that? I think that he ages her. I also don't think it's anyone's responsibility to have to raise Nick. It seems like emotionally he has a lot of work to do. He needs to ground himself emotionally. And it's not to say that the outbursts were bad per se, especially because some of them happened when he was just by himself. Like, we're human. Duh, it happens. We're gonna have a crash out here and there. But the way that he sometimes weaponizes his emotions and stuff, and it seems like his emotions then trigger Sandy to go through an emotional roller coaster herself, it's just, no. I wouldn't want to see anybody go through that. I think that he just needs to take time to himself, work on himself, and then find somebody who is on the same wavelength as him. Because even from the beginning, they weren't looking for the same thing. From the beginning, these two didn't really match when it came to lifestyle, so it's no surprise that they are still not quite matching. I don't know if Sandy wants to get married, but if she did, it would have to be with somebody who's just a lot more light, just a lot more easygoing, a lot more chill, which is what she liked in JR so much. Maybe not JR specifically, but not somebody as high strung as Nick. Lastly, we see Aria and Scotty. Scotty came in. I didn't really like the tone of this proposal because it almost made it seem like Aria was the one who had to do the proving in this process. And yes, he came in saying, you know, I do acknowledge that I can work on this, and this. I'll definitely plan on showing better in this way and that way. But the tone of it just made it feel like you have done the work to show me that I can choose you, and you know, you are worth me getting married. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It felt weird.
I realize that I issued you an ultimatum for maybe the wrong reasons. I'm sorry if I didn't give you the reassurance in our relationship that I know you needed. I'm sorry if I didn't love you the way you wanted to be loved. But I hope that I made you feel seen in our trial marriage because I really, really tried.
I'm here because I love you, because I did not want to be here. I should have given you more trust. And I'm sorry for that.
I don't doubt you anymore. I want to be the man that you run to and not away from. I want to be your protector, your peace. Above all else, I just want you to know that I choose you. Will you marry me?
Yes, 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 yes.
I'm very much not happy with this result. I don't love this for Aria at all. At all. I'm stuck on even the conversation she had with her brother. The fact that the brother from the beginning and till present day, whenever they're filming this, was not a fan of Scotty at all, and liken him to their father, who they obviously have an estranged relationship with. Why would she then willingly go into a partnership, with this man? Why, Aria? I think this is a mistake. I do. I think this is a mistake. I think there was a part in the show where Aria did say that at one point she was the one who wanted to get married to Scotty, but he wasn't ready, and then the roles reversed. Don't know what happened to make that happen. But the things that she spoke about, you know, she's at a point in her career where she feels like getting married would kind of set her back because she'd have to move and do all these things. She feels like Scotty can be so critical. We've seen him be petty. We've seen him be very sassy. We've just seen so much from him that I feel like Aria would have to diminish herself in order to appease him in this relationship. And I hate that for her. I hate that for her so much. I hope that everything Scotty is saying in his proposal is true. I hope that he has changed, and I hope that it's not just to secure her for now and then he just defaults to who he was coming in. I hope for Aria that she holds on to the things that she learned in this process, that there are good men out there. And not only are there good men out there, you deserve somebody who treats you as well and even better than how Caleb treated you. I hope that she holds on to that and also holds Scotty accountable to that as well. If you are coming into my life saying, hey, I want to be your spouse, then this is how you need to show up to be my spouse. I was watching a review today, actually, and they were saying that they feel because Aria has that weird relationship with her dad, it's almost like she's trying to reconcile that through Scotty. Interesting perspective. We don't know that to be true, but it kind of does feel like she has to prove herself to Scotty, and Scotty has to be the one to approve her. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But she's really happy. She's over the moon. He says they're not in a rush to plan a wedding. Thank God. Take all the time you need, girl. If y'all need to be engaged for 10 years, I know a couple who was engaged for 10 years. I don't know how that works, but it worked for them, child. They're now married with kids. So even if it takes 10 years, girl, do what you gotta do. Because I feel like jumping into marriage with Scotty right now is a big mistake. But we'll see. We'll see. At the end of the day, this is a television show. We don't know what happens in these people's real lives. So I wish them all the best. I hope that you guys wish them all the best as well. And we'll see what happens in the reunion. Who's still together? Who's not together? I would ask you guys what you think, but I'm pretty sure y'all are going to spoil. So please do not tell me what you think we will just talk about it in the reunion episode. So as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.